This video will show you about functions in R. My first example is calculating the area of a circle. In my case, I'm going to name my function something, and the name of my function is area underscore circle, and I'm going to put an equal sign and an equals function. So writing function lets R know that we have a function that we're going to write coming up. What you put in parentheses is the values that that function requires. In our case, if we want to calculate the area of a circle, we need to know what its radius is, and we'll abbreviate that with little r. Then we put an open bracket, and then on the next line, we calculate the area of the circle. The area equals pi times r squared. And then we end our function with a close bracket. And so in this case, we can calculate the area of a circle just by knowing what its radius is. So we'll run that, and then we'll see that R adds my function now in the upper right here. So now we want to find out what is the area of a circle with a radius of 6 feet. Well, what we're going to do is we want to print this value out to the console. So we'll type print, and then in parentheses, the name of our function. Remember, we named it area circle. And then what values it takes. And so in our case, it needs to know what R is, and R is 6. So the area of a circle, R equals 6, and that will provide us what the area is. And so we can run that, and this is the area of a circle for R equals 6. So a simple example of how you can use a function in R. We find an area of about 113 square feet. A slightly more complex geometrical pattern might be the volume of a cylinder. And so the volume of a cylinder, you need to know not just the radius, but also the height to calculate the volume. And so we'll have a new function here, volume underscore cylinder, and that's going to equal function. And in this case, the different thing is we have two values that we want to use in our function. We'll have both the radius and the height. And so we can represent volume equals pi times r squared times height to calculate the volume of a cylinder. And so we can run that, and you can see again it stores that as a function. And then we can find out what is the volume of a cylinder with a radius of 6 feet and a height of 3 feet. So again, we're going to want to use the print because we're going to want to print this out to the screen. In this case, we'll use the volume underscore cylinder function. And then we'll give it the parameters. So the R is still equal to 6, and then a comma, and then the height is equal to 3. And so this will calculate using the function that we wrote in R. This will calculate the volume of a cylinder. So we can hit the play button. And for a cylinder that's 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, 3 feet tall, we get the volume of that cylinder to be about 339 feet. And so we can write any function we want in R. And this is really handy for people as they dive into very specific analyses and that tend to do the same kinds of calculations over and over again. So here's how we can use functions in R, how we write them, and how we can use them as a part of our data analysis.